Hey, going, Dusty Bogan here.
And Dia Beltran here for the pilot episode of Dia and Dusty Decipher.
Haha. It's gonna evolve down the pit of chaos and who knows, this might turn into like Kanye West Sunday services, you know what I mean?
But the thing is, we have nothing to decipher because we haven't planned anything. We just planned this time.
Welcome to bloody my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I just randomly off the cuff start reading crap and ranting, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it works. Whatever works happens. The good thing is that the next episode, which is on my channel, because we go back and forth, that's what we've worked out.
Yeah.
It might be a little more structured.
Yeah, your channel will be all structure and mine will be chaos.
No.
It'd be like Jordan Peterson, you know what I mean? Doesn't he say something like that?
Jordan Peterson says that you should never leave your house and try to change the world if you haven't, cleaned your drawer and done your bed.
Yeah, clean your bloody room. Yeah, but he says it like Kermit the Frog.
Clean your bloody room.
Ha, what a legend. Oh, I went to the shooting range the other day.
I saw.
Oh, you watched it?
No, I saw that you went to the shooting range.
Video. I tried to go live, but the couldn't get any internet out there.
Oh, bummer.
So this is Bear Hamid. This is Bear Hamid.
Bear Hamid.
My mate shot the shit out of him. And that was at like, I don't know, 25 meters or something with a 22. So pretty poor. This was Bird Hamid. I shot him at that was at 100 meters with a 22. So you can see I fucking missed. The bullets were dropping and I was trying to compensate and and then Goat Hamid, my favorite. Goat Hamid.
Goat Hamid. By the way.
So yeah, I tested out the 22 and it was I think this one actually I used my mate's other rifles, more high powered. I keep forgetting the size of the bullets. His other rifle's the same size as the Australian Army's bullet, so I've really got no idea. I'm learning.
You're doing really good.
Well, it was fucking fun, hey, and now I've got heaps and heaps of targets that have been shot up around my man cave. I call it maybe like Bogan Paradise down here.
You're doing good. You're doing well.
Yeah, it's like fucking wallpaper with just targets everywhere.
I've never been to a shooting range. I went to one in Thailand. I've never been to one in like Australia.
Oh, nice. Did you shoot a fucking bazooka? They do crazy shit like that over there, eh?
Because it was too much money at the time. So
fuck, if I ever get over there again. We went on my honeymoon to Thailand. It was, oh, fuck. Yeah, I went on my honeymoon to fucking Phuket. It was awesome. Rode an elephant and all that.
I've ridden an elephant.
How fucking good are elephants, eh?
So good. I didn't used to. The bad thing about when you go to Thailand is that you see the people kicking the elephant sometimes, and then I react like in fury. But everyone says it's okay. It doesn't actually hurt them because they have this.
Oh, that'd be tough as nails. You could probably go up and fucking punch an elephant as hard as you could, and you'd just be like, "What the fuck was that?" Exactly. First swear word. Start counting. Sunday sessions.
Sunday. I haven't been to church today, unfortunately.
Oh, haven't you?
No, well, because I was at the Friedman conference most of the week, and then I flew this morning at 6 a.m. to Melbourne, and then I went straight from Melbourne to my niece's birthday, which is out in somewhere, which I'm not going to say on camera, but it's far. And so, So
what a big day.
Chose my family over church. Yeah, it was a big day, but it's been a really good week. And you've been on whose channel did you recently go on?
I wasn't on anyone's channel. I was on Revenge of the Sis. That was good last week. That was sick.
How was that? How are they?
It was good. It was real good. I was thinking like I was watching that live, so I was on the second hour of that 2-hour broadcast, and I'm like watching it. They're taking the piss out of some stupid white nationalist YouTuber, and they're like paying out on him. I'm like, yeah, all right, fair enough. And then they had Gavin McInnes, and they were like taking the piss out of one of his videos, and I'm like, geez, I'm up next. These guys are gonna like sledge me. They're gonna like, this will be the fucking. I'll be like, just taking the piss out of. But then they're like, "Hey, Dusty," and I was like, "Sweet as, thank goodness."
Yes.
I think when they first found me, right, they were like, "Look at this retard," and they're like slow talking Darrow, and then slowly but surely they fell in love with me somehow. It's like a miracle.
It's very easy to fall in love with you. You're just very relaxed. Like everyone says, you're so pure. I think that's why people like you.
Oh God, Jesus help me. That's the only pure thing about me. It must be like it's a miracle. It's just like them guys liking me, you know.
No, everyone likes you.
But I swear it's
People
true
like
because
you and like you.
I was watching the Revenge of the Sis, right, and
Mm.
I'm the videos and they were taking the piss out of me, and I was like, it's so true. Like I'll rewatch them interviews. I'm like, what was wrong with me? And I swear it was because I was working 2 jobs the last 2 years, and I was so like, since I effed my finger, you know, the finger, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you too.
After that, I was like, I'm quitting my second job, and I realized like how much in pain I was physically all the time, just from never resting and being like a workaholic. And then I was just drinking. Drinking was like my painkillers. Do you know what I mean? And I was just like slow. I was just exhausted, and even though I kept on keeping on with my YouTube. So
I thought you were just genetically gifted to be that slow.
I think I am. Like I think I'm still slow, but I think I'm like I've just gone up one gear because I'm not fucking pissed all the time.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I'm not so exhausted and fucking
That's good. Just get pissed with
and
your
drunk.
friends like one night a week. It's not good to
Yeah.
yeah.
I did the Lent. So I did Lent. But I was like, I'm doing Lent, and then the finger happened, and then I'm on antibiotics for 3 weeks, and you can't drink on antibiotics. So it's like, I was like, all right, you know, when you fast, you should struggle through it. But when I'm on antibiotics, and I'm like, well, if I drink, the antibiotics won't work, and my finger falls off. So I was like incentivized not to drink. So it was like maybe I had 1 week of actual true fasting where I was like, I fucking need a beer, you know. But now it's been 2 months, and I barely had a drop. I had a jug of beer last night. Went for dinner with the missus and shoot some pool. Just me and her. It was awesome. And then had a fucking jug of beer. And I was like, geez, I'm like, this jug of beer's knocking me around. Old Dusty's fucking a Cadbury again.
I gotta tell you, I'm a Christian the same way that you're a Christian, but I've never ever fasted. I don't think we're called to do that. I think if you choose to do that, that's fantastic, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. But I think unlike other religions that ritualize those sorts of things, like it's a must. We don't actually have to do Lent. Why do you choose to do that when we're not called to do it?
I reckon, like everything with Christianity, it's the manifestation of being born again. You're like spiritually, internally decide and desire to do it. Like it should not be a religious duty. Do you know what I mean? Like it's true what you're saying. Like Christians, we don't have to give 10% of our money. Like that's a lie. And we don't have to be circumcised. We don't have to worship on the Sabbath. We don't have to fast or make animal sacrifices. Like we're not Jews. But there's things that we do like from the inside out. It's like, oh, I want to do that. Like I want to give money to my church and volunteer, and I want to fast, and I want to pray, and I want to like sing like Jesus, you're a legend, mate. Yeah, exactly. However, I do that. Exactly. But like I do it from because I want to. Like it's just like, I actually really want to. And yeah, there's something powerful about it. I really believe that. But I think it's probably powerful because it's just like it's a voluntary interaction. Hey, like I think Christianity is this voluntary reaction where like Adam and Eve, they ate the fruit, and it's like, you eat the fruit, you surely die.
Yeah.
And then it's like the voluntary, the whole idea. It's like, here we go, the Garden of Eden, this perfect scenario, the freedom of will. They voluntarily entered into that state of destruction. And then Christianity, like Jesus, he himself God voluntarily entered into the creation.
Mm.
He voluntarily sacrificed himself, became like the payment to break that curse of death. And then the voluntary transactions continue because we voluntarily accept Jesus as our savior.
But if
And then
I
once we're a Christian, we're like voluntarily making choices because we have a spiritual transformation that's happened in us. It's like this amazing freedom and empowerment situation. I feel
I
like
understand, but if I don't feel that pull to do that, does that make me a worse off Christian than you? Do you know what I mean? Because we
nah.
are saved by grace.
I reckon you do a F load of great things that probably I don't do. You voluntarily do it.
Maybe because
Yeah, like
I think what people struggle with in Christianity is the differences in what certain Christians do. For example, my old Sunday school teacher who passed away last year, she used to say that she no longer wears lipstick, she no longer ever cuts her hair because in her opinion, she felt like it was a sin. But I'm like, well, other Christians cut their hair, other Christians still wear
yeah,
makeup. So I think each Christian individually feels a different everyone's conscience is different. So even though the laws are the same, don't steal, don't murder, all that kind of stuff, all that stuff's the same. The little things like cutting your hair, wearing makeup, wearing a dress, whatever, those things vary with Christian to Christian. So if I don't feel
yeah,
like doing Lent and you do feel like doing Lent, well then that's good for you. If I'm okay eating a hamburger during Easter and another Christian doesn't eat a hamburger and eats fish, well good for them. That's not the Bible doesn't call us to do that.
yeah. And I totally agree. Like Jesus said, what was he talking? Can't remember exactly. He was talking to some Sheila. I think it was a Sheila by the well.
Yeah, it says so in the Bible. Jesus was talking to that Sheila by the well.
Yeah, the Dusty Bogan translation.
Yeah.
And I think he said to her, they were like, I think they were Samaritans, and in their culture, they believed like the mountain near the town or village, whatever, was like, they were like, this mountain did not get covered by the flood. It's the holiest place on earth. And Jesus said, there's like a tension between this. I think I could be wrong here. I could get mixing up a bit of this. The Samaritans and the Jews were like, the Samaritans worshipped on the mountain, and then the Jews worshipped in the temple. But Jesus said there will come a time when people will neither worship in the temple or the mountain, but they'll worship in spirit and truth.
Yeah.
And I think like this is what's happening where, and then like the Apostle Paul said stuff like he was like, some people drink and some people don't. Some people choose to worship on this day or that day, or they
I see.
will grow beards, or they won't eat this or they won't eat that. And he said like, well, some people are worshipping God that way, like in the heart. This is how they're worshipping in spirit and truth. So like, I'm paraphrasing here, and he kind of said like, if your faith is that you can drink and have a cigar and eat pork and bloody, worship on any day of the week, then like that's fine for you. But like, no need to like mock or tear down anyone else. Like, if your faith is at a higher level of, do you know what I mean? Because and then we're judging all this.
We shouldn't be arrogant about our faith either. Like, I'm a better Christian than you, because that's also not healthy. That Bible does not call us to do that either. Sorry, keep going.
No, that's not healthy. Because the thing is, it says like you will know them by their fruit. You know what I mean? Like you'll know the false prophet or whatever by their fruit. So like, whatever that thing that you're doing, you're like, hey, mate, I'm drinking here and get smashed and smoking or whatever, growing a mad beard. I don't know, what's the fruit of it? We can judge things by the fruit. You can judge the pastor when he's up there and he's like preaching the prosperity gospel, and he's like, if you give this amount, you'll be blessed. And you're like,
you're a moron.
What's the fruit of that, dude? Like,
exactly. It's the old woman. Remember the Bible, the old woman who gave the least amount, she gave the most, because even though she gave the least amount in the terms of a quantifiable amount, she gave the most because it was all she had.
Yeah.
So, and I think that we should call out other Christians as well. Not on our purity, like I'm a better Christian than you, but people like the Pope. the Pope talks more about climate change and the environment than he does about salvation through Christ, than he does about abortion, than he does about he calls for globalism and open borders. That is not a Christian message.
That is
And he's a false
weird.
prophet.
He's
Yeah.
a weirdo. And
he's
even though I love the
he's not a
Catholic
Christian.
Church, like I
don't
love,
like the Catholic
like I'm
Church.
a
You and I
I'm a
don't agree on
Protestant.
that.
Yeah, well, I'm a Protestant. Well, I'm a Christian, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to
I
buy
don't agree
into.
with you on the Catholic Church.
That's all good.
I
I'm
hate
right and you're wrong. You know
No,
what
I hate you now, and I am tuning out. See ya.
Well, like
I'll let
the
you
thing.
speak. Listen, we speak over each other too much.
Okay, so
It's on your channel, so you finish.
mate, you're a guest here, and
I know this is an equal show. We're doing one on yours and one on mine, and one on yours and one on mine.
yeah.
What were you going to say about the Catholic Church? You said you like
Well,
it.
like, well, look, I think we're all Christians. We should all be like, I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus. I'm a disciple of Jesus. You know what I mean? I'm following him. I follow him. I don't follow any church.
Yeah, I don't follow.
Realistically, I'm a follower of Christ.
Yeah,
He's the savior. So,
He's
like,
the big
but
me.
I really do enjoy going to the Catholic Church. Like, I love it. And I think like the Pope, yeah, mate, he needs to come on the Dusty Bogan channel, and I can just like adjust a few of them. You know what I mean? Get him to back on track there, because he's a weirdo. Like, I think this globalism is a fool's game. Like, that's against Christianity.
Absolutely, it is.
Jesus said, "Go to all the nations, make disciples." Right? Teach them what you know. Teach them the truth about Jesus. So that means God has a heart for European individual nations and cultures and people and traditions. And we have, like, I have a heart as a knowing this. I'm like, oh, the Great Commissioning. I have a heart for Australia and Australians, white Australians. I have a heart for dead set. I went to a Reclaim rally and there was like a bunch of skinheads, right? And they weren't supposed to be there, right? They were like, the organizer, like, don't go near them people. They shouldn't even be here. And I was like, stuff you. I fucking want to win these people for Jesus. Like, I don't care crap about your rules, because I have a heart for these people. I want to see that whatever that these people are, I want to see them won for Christ. I want to see them discipled. I'm like, I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to share my faith with them. And I did. I went and spoke to them. I was like, bro, what's the heart behind your philosophy? And they were like, I was like, I know you're an atheist.
Yeah, they'll be like, we hate Jesus
like
and this and
evolutionary, like they are superior because they're evolved higher. And I was like, dude, I don't believe in that. You know, I believe we're made in God's image, man. Do you know what I mean? I have a heart for the nations. I have a heart for Australia. I have a heart for black people and white people and fucking Middle Easterners and Jews. Everyone. I won't like turn away from a racial group. Do you know what I mean? I have a heart for my people.
There's a lot of conversation about civic nationalism, ethno-nationalism, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm still figuring out what I am in that space of things, but I think I'm just a Christian nationalist. I think I'm a nationalist for Christ. I know that sounds a bit weird. It's not a real term to say Christian nationalist. But where I agree with globalism is that the whole entire world should have salvation in Christ. And that in that sense, I'd love the globalism to take over in that regard and that regard alone.
Well, a lot of the Europeans who started colonizing the world had a heart for spreading the gospel. Do you know what I mean? They believed they were like enlightened Christians, and they were like, dude, we see these tribes. There was a heart to like, we want to like civilize these people with the gospel and what we've created and what Christianity has helped us with. Like, yes, there's idiots everywhere and in every generation and every people. Like, I reckon there's 20% of people are scumbags, and there's might be 1% of them are pretty fucking evil.
I know one of those scumbags. We were talking about him a couple of weeks ago on your channel. I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Oh, Neil. Jeez, I got a heart for Neil Erickson, eh? I'll have him on this channel. I'll have a bit of banter with him. I will not turn
I'll give you his number.
Yeah, I will. I wouldn't turn my back. Like, you know, everyone's like, don't interview Blair Cottrell, don't do this. And I was like, you know what? I reckon he'll be all good. I got a heart for that man too. Like,
Blair the stuff the media says about Blair is highly exaggerated. I believe in going to the source and finding out from the source.
Oh, you think
I-
about the
I'm a
shit
big
that they
believer
wrote
in
about the
going to the
Proud Boys. Like, it's
Yeah.
all lies.
It's all
So
lies. That's why you go to the source and you find out. You do your research.
I'm pretty sure the mainstream media and these journalists are like, the mainstream media is like had a fair crack at making money, right? And now we've got all the social media. We are the media. Dusty's picked up a fucking, I was like, oh, I bought a $30 mic and a $30 camera stand, and I like plugged into my tablet. I'm like, that actually works. I'm going to do an interview. So like, these people need money to keep the ship afloat. And here's Dusty. I spent $60 and I'm running around like an idiot doing interviews. They're freaking out. Mainstream media's like, shit, we can't compete with Joe Blow, these average
We
people
can't
having a
compete with
crack.
Dusty Bogan.
They can't. They can't because they need so much money. And this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm getting to. They're freaking out and they're using clickbait. They have to use clickbait and lies to get people to listen to them, to read their shit and watch it. It's all lies. It's all clickbait. It's not true what they've said about Proud Boys or Blair Cottrell or fucking half
Not
of
true
the
what they've said
people.
about me. They wrote an article about the far right in Australia and the guy in the Guardian, and they referenced me as someone who was giving a voice to the alt right. I'm like, piss off! I'm not alt right. How dare you? Like, f off. But people who are subscribed to me know that's not the case anyway. It's moronic.
Have you seen that meme? And it's like Hitler on a magic carpet, and he's wearing pajamas, and it's like, everyone I disagree with is a Nazi. Have you seen that meme? It's fucking hilarious.
No, I
You
haven't
haven't
seen that
seen it.
meme.
It's
Maybe I have.
Yeah, you probably have. It's Adolf Hitler riding a magic carpet
No, I haven't
in
seen that. I
pajamas,
remember
and it
that.
says everyone I disagree with is a Nazi.
That's so
And that's what
stupid.
these people do. It's like, you're a Nazi because you believe in, you're like, hang on a minute. And whatever your concern is, it's like racist, homophobe, Islamophobe, like
Yeah.
climate change denialist. And they make up these stupid racist. They make up these stupid words, and
Yeah.
it's just like, don't apologize. Like, if they say, it's like, I'm not alt right, I'm not racist, I'm not, it's like, I don't give a fuck what
If
you
you
think
say,
about
"Oh,
me, you
I'm not this,
stupid
I'm not
bloody.
this, I'm not that," then they're kind of winning because it's like, but I'm really not. I promise I'm not alt-right. If you do that, then the left are like, "Oh, yes, we're getting to them." But if you don't care, do you know what I mean? It's
I
just
don't give a
funny.
crap. I think
Yeah.
these people, all they are is in love with money. They're trying to keep their jobs, and they're writing clickbait
And
because they're just not
they
that
feed
good.
off hatred as well. They're
Don't,
they unite under hate. Someone in the chat wrote, "Mr. Smith, Avi Yemeni ruined the Australian accent for me, but Dusty, you redeemed it."
RB. I want to get that bloke on my bloody, do an interview with him again.
I'm sure he'll let you. I have his number.
Yeah, he's actually pretty sick, hey? Like, honest to God,
He's
the
very good
first
at
interview
editing
I did with him,
videos.
I'm like, is he?
Sorry.
I've never edited one video. The way I edit my videos is like pause the like a dead set at my tablet, and I'm like, pause, record, pause, record,
We
and I'm
need to
just
do
like,
an event. We need to do a meet and greet event, and then like I'll come up to Brisbane or something, and then I'll teach you how to edit. You're
oh
so
god,
basic.
I'm like
You're
a caveman.
basic, yeah.
I'm like Forrest Gump. When I was in LA on, is it bloody Santa Monica Pier or whatever they call that?
Santa Monica Pier in America.
Is that right? Santa Monica Beach?
But what are you referring to? Sorry.
Oh, there's a sweet Bubba Gump restaurant there, and there's like the seat with Forrest Gump, and it's got his like box of chocolates, and you sit there and you put your feet in his shoes. I got a sick
I don't know
photo.
if that's on Santa Monica Pier, to be honest. I'm not sure.
I'm just
I've never
saying,
been
I'm
to
like,
the States.
I'm forgetting. It's near Venice. Yeah, Venice Beach.
Venice Beach. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I think that's it. People will know what I'm fucking on about. It was like, I got a sick photo of me like sitting there like Forrest Gump on his. I think it's the actual seat from the movie.
You could easily pass for like the Australian version of Forrest Gump.
Yeah, or like Homer Simpson. Like, you just cruise through life, right?
No, you're
Having
not
a
as
you just
dumb or as
cruise through life.
backwards,
You
no,
have a
no.
crack.
Yeah.
Cruise through life. You have a crack. Don't take yourself too serious.
Yeah, don't be
don't be afraid to fail. Just have a go. And you know what? But then I think like things come your way. I reckon I've had a pretty blessed life. Things have worked out. I'm not like stressing out. I mean, I
That's
used
good.
to. I
Yeah.
definitely worked. I bloody worked too hard. I think the last 10 years, I've worked pretty much 2 jobs the whole time, and I've like just stopped with my finger, and I'm like, fuck, actually, am I like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I robbed my life by working so much. I don't know what I was doing. I was like, was I materialistic? Did I want all this
Well, it's good to have a
stuff?
house. You have a wife. You're settled. That's not a bad thing to work
I've
hard.
traveled the
It's actually
world.
it's
Like, it's
almost
been great.
biblical. Yeah, I've traveled the world as well. I've been to about
Hey,
30
look,
countries.
I think it's hard to say no to opportunities. That was my thing. It's like an opportunity arises, and you're like, yeah, why not? I'll do it, and you make the
Yeah,
most of it,
give it a
right?
whirl.
So I've done that, but now I'm like, after the finger, I was like, look, the finger I didn't even do at work, but what it gave me a wake up call for, I was like, I could have lost my fucking finger. I could have lost my hand.
Yeah,
And here I am working fucking 10, 11, 12-hour days.
that's a lot of days.
And when I get my
Hours.
free time, I'm like physically exhausted. I feel a little bit injured, and I'm not getting like quality friendships or like spending the quality time with my wife or my family and my mates. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this, and I'm like falling asleep. Do you know what I mean?
That's really good. At least you've come to conclusions. With my obviously the other I was working as a dental assistant. Everyone, well, not everyone knows the story. I'm not like, I
And
doubt
you
the
got the
whole.
sack.
Well, I mean, I
They
was asked
booted you.
I was asked to resign, and so they're not allowed to sack me for my political views. That would be illegal.
Oh.
I stepped down. But the point is that at the time I was thinking, I really am over this. I don't want to be working. I should be focused on my channel, and I should be only doing stuff on my channel, and blah blah blah. But then my mind would be always so invested in just like socio-political commentary, and I'd never live. Do you know what I mean? So I sort of had a different realization to you, and that one was that this job isn't beneath me or above me. I'm not a careerist. I don't care about having a career or anything like that. I care more about retaining my friendships and having a good time and spending time with my family, and then doing the YouTube here and there when if and when I can. And so whilst I had my head so far up YouTube, and nothing else seemed to matter to me, and I was so diving deep into that, and I was saying to myself, I should already have accomplished this and this and this and this with my channel. Do you know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
hadn't. So losing the job that I had actually gave me a lot of clarity, and I'm actually really really happy. I'm much happier than I was, and yeah, it's good. Like it's these things, these moments in your life give you clarity and understanding. And I got to interview Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh,
You have such a
Jesse's a
high
fucking
one.
legend.
Jesse Peterson was talking to me last week, and he said to me, I
Yeah.
asked him, I said, "Why do you refer to African Americans as retarded?" I said, "Don't you think that's offensive to your own people?" He goes, "Well, first of all, I'm not African American." He goes, "I'm black." He goes, "What the hell is an African American?" And then he said, "And don't you think don't you think black people are retarded because all these women, 70% of women are having babies outside of marriage, as opposed to basically single mothers?" And then he goes,
It's
"That's
terrible.
retarded." He said,
It
"That's
is
retarded."
retarded.
Yeah, and I
And you
started
need someone
laughing.
to say that. They're trying to
But
fucking.
like, to say retarded is not a good term.
I
So when
call
he
people
said that,
stupid idiots
yeah,
because, like, I've been reading articles and they use, like, ScoMo says stupid idiot. All these politicians, they say stupid idiot. It's everywhere.
yeah,
And I love that word. I'm like, mate, if they can say that, I've always said stupid idiot. I think Chris Jericho was saying it, this wrestler,
yeah.
stupid idiot. And I was like, brainwashed me to start calling
No, I
people
love
stupid
stupid
idiots.
idiot. Sometimes you can really insult someone. My favorite insult that I use all the time, I always say, "You're a moron." I love the word
Moron.
moron. But
Ah,
he
that's
says
good.
retard. He says that his own black people are retards.
Retard.
And so I started laughing. I'm going to put the interview up with Jesse Lee Peterson on my channel, I think next week. And
I
he said
think
he was going to promote it. He's going to promote it. My subs are going to
Jesus.
go up.
And then I'm going to steal all your subs.
Well, I think I think at the moment we're sort of cross promoting each other's channels anyway. So,
And man, if I
your
get on
appearance
Jesse Lee Peterson, if I got to interview Jesse Lee Peterson, I'd probably just like froth at the mouth and pass out. He's like, I said at
him.
work when I seen your post. You're like, I'm interviewing Jesse Lee Peterson. I was just like, oh my goodness.
I know.
And
I
all
was
my
so
black
excited.
workmates, I was like, get this dude. He's like the spiritual father of so many people.
He's so
Like he's
cool.
like my black spirit dad.
When I
He's a
interviewed,
freaking legend.
he's a legend. But when I interviewed him, it was so hard to get him because it was 6 weeks of emailing back and forth and back and forth and back, and them saying this is the week we can do it, and me thinking shit, I can't do it that day. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm not gonna back out of interviewing Jesse Lee Peterson. I had to go to bed really early because the interview was at 3 a.m. my time, which is 9 a.m. his time the day before. So I made myself available at 3 a.m. to interview him, and it's a good interview. And if anyone wants to catch it, it'll be on my channel next week. And Dusty, I will give you his email.
Yeah, give me his email. If I got to interview old Jesse Lee Peterson, I would just be like,
I don't even think he'd understand you, to be honest. I think you two would struggle to understand each other.
I'd probably just want to give him a hug. Like, because the thing is, right, here's the thing, right? I did youth group for, I don't know, 8 years. 6 years at one church, 2 years at another. So 8 years all up. And most of my people, my young people, were like African, Australian, or, African descent, Aboriginal, Pacific Islanders.
Mm-hmm.
And like Jesse Lee Peterson, he's talking to these subgroups of African Americans, right? Well, I mean, look, he's speaking the truth, and he's saying like, why the hell do we have so many single parent homes? Why the hell is this happening? Like, and I think to myself, like, thank God. Well, I love my young people, right? Who I was like volunteering and helping, and I'm like, dude, like I have a heart for these young people. I'm thinking like, you know what? Don't get trapped in the way the African American culture's going. It's down the toilet. Once you're hitting 75% of people born in single parent homes without a father, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Born out of wedlock, living in a single parent home, and you see the flow on effect. It's like the crime, the drugs, the gangs, and it's just like.
Abortion.
But the thing is, this will happen for white people
too.
Yeah, I believe this would happen for any of us. I think this would happen for any of us. It could have happened to me. I was raised in a single parent home, and I fucking had no moral values. I grew up and it was just like chaos, man. My mum was fucking mentally ill single mother who gave me weed when I was in grade 7 in primary school. Like, so fucked up, man.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Like, it was terrible. There was no values. But some things she did right. Like, she was like, if you want to go to school, you got to get a fucking job. And then I got a job.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I got 2 part-time jobs at school. And I'm like, I got $250 a week. And like back then it was $25 would get you a carton of bloody pre-mixed bourbon and Coke. Do you know what I mean? You'd spend $100 and you'd be like, you could be an alcoholic and have weed and durries all week and still bank like $150.
Yeah.
So I was like, by the time I finished school, I had thousands of dollars in the bank and partied the whole time. And it's like, thanks, Mum, for forcing me into the workforce. And probably like partying young, I was probably over it young enough. By the time I found Jesus when I was 17 or began that journey, I was like, I'm fucking over this shit. I've already partied for fucking, it might have been 7 years or something. I'm like, I already know what that lifestyle's delivering. It will not satisfy you. It's going to leave you fucked. Pardon me. I think, is that the second time I've sworn? I don't know. I'm getting better.
You are getting better. I had a gentleman who was on my channel some time ago. His name is Zeb. He's a former white supremacist. He's a former Mormon. He's a former Satan worshipper. And he was in the chat when you and I were doing our channel. And he said that he liked you and that he felt like you were very good, but he hated the fact that you kept swearing.
God help me, eh? I'm pretty sure, like, at the end of the day, I swear to God, when I'm like,
don't swear to God, that's blasphemy.
Yeah, right.
Say I swear to the big man.
God help me.
Yes,
God help me, right? So, like, when I was like, went to church first time at 17, and I'm like, oh yeah, Jesus, he's all right. I'll give him a crack. I'd give anything a crack. At that point, I'd already done a lot. At 17, I'd already done a lot. So I'm like, why not? I got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And like the spiritual transaction began. It manifested into my reality from the inside out. I was like cleaned and washed, and like next thing I'm like sitting there like smoking a joint, drinking a beer with a girlfriend or mom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I kind of like don't need that. I don't need that weed. I don't need to drink like that. I don't need that girlfriend. I was like, I want to get a wife. I want to have like a marriage. I want to create a like, family. Like in here changed. Like,
Yeah, that's
and this is
good.
the thing about swearing. Like, people are like, oh, you swear. You're a hypocrite. You're a Christian. You shouldn't swear. It's like, yeah, well, Jesus has changed a heap of crap in my life from the inside out.
That's
I don't care what you
amazing.
think
I
of
love
me.
that.
I don't care what they think of me.
Mm,
Jesus will change me.
he will.
No one else from the inside out. And when
Jesus
it
can
happens, it's
cure
up to
anything. Jesus transcends logic. Have you ever heard of a band called Korn?
yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of
That's it.
Brian Welch?
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah,
He's
so
a star.
Brian Welch used to be like a crackhead and all that kind of stuff, and he loved cocaine the most. That was his favorite thing to do. And what he did was he became a born again Christian, and he did cocaine for a whole week, even though he found the Lord. And then after he did the cocaine, he said, "Lord, I don't want to be obsessed with cocaine." Or there was another drug as well. I don't think it was just cocaine. I think it might have been ice.
Yeah.
And he said, so he did it for a week. Then he flushed it down the toilet, and he said, "Okay, Jesus, I'm yours." And he never touched drugs again. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, I
Like,
think it's like
that's a proper
something,
transition.
some transaction happens. Like
Yeah.
there's like a mental, spiritual thing that happens, and your desires change, and things start to like rebalance, and like you know, I mean, the fruit of your life begins to change. Like Jesus said to the Pharisees, like you're so worried about cleaning the outside of the cup. Like the religious people in this world, so worried about polishing that cup up and making it look fucking beautiful. It's
Mm.
like an egg. I'm like, look at this egg. It's so lovely. It's so clean,
Mm.
and they polish the egg, but the eggs are rotten on the inside. The
Mm.
eggs are rotten, and you can polish the egg all you want, but Jesus will come and he'll make the dead living. He'll turn the rotten egg into like a beautiful back to life.
He
And
will.
then the outside will become clean. But Jesus said to the Pharisees, if you so focus on cleaning the outside of the cup, but if you wash the inside of the cup first, the outside will become clean as well. And I'm like, I really think that's the truth. I think that's what happens.
Everything in the Bible is the truth. Once I was blind, but now I can see. The light of the world is Jesus.
You'll be on the next musical, Book of Mormon.
I know. I totally love singing. I used to sing as a kid. That was my dream, to be a singer-songwriter.
Sweet.
But now I talk politics and theology.
I want to
Very-
start. I was like, I've done everything I want to do to my wife. I'm like, but I always wanted to be a pro wrestler and just like get bashed. I love the storyline, the hype. It's just
Yeah.
live action, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I got a mate who's a wrestler, and he has a few companies. A guy I know, and I was like, I'm gonna tee it up. Now I'm not working. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna start training again. I'm like, this channel's just gonna morph into like me getting bashed and bashing people and like
I'd watch that.
getting slammed through chairs and like tables and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I want to do it. All the desires of my heart that eventually get fulfilled. Like I have no doubt
That's what
about
the Lord, the Bible says. He'll fill the desires of our heart if you do it through Him.
it. Yeah.
Except for like
So like
prostitution.
one day it will be like we'll be having a chat and someone's just gonna bust into this room and chair me.
Bloody
You know what I mean?
dude.
Just be a wild punch on.
Every time I have you on my channel, I always put your channel in the description box below. You didn't do it this time for me.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I did that.
You didn't.
Oh, okay. So
You
what
didn't
am I
put my
supposed to
channel. It
post
doesn't
you
matter.
in the
It doesn't matter. It
comment
doesn't matter.
section?
They can if I write a comment, they can click on me and then open it up through
Oh
a tab.
yeah.
The point
Yeah,
is that next
write
time,
a comment.
please. No, I have been. I'm paying attention to the chat. I don't think you are at all.
Yeah, no, I need to start reading some of these sweet comments.
Yeah, let's have a look at the
Me
comments.
fans are all right.
Your fans are pretty cool. They seem pretty nice. One of them is called I
Check.
Love the Lord King James Version.
Jeez, what a stud.
And then you have El Caballo TV, which means the horse television in Spanish.
Whoa. I wonder if he's got a sick YouTube channel.
I don't know. I like the Mormon teaching that at the war in heaven, some angel sat on the fence and didn't choose a side. So the Mormon God made them black. True. The Mormons
The
do
Book of
teach
Mormon's
that.
sick. I was in
That's
when I was in
true, though.
Miami.
That's what they teach.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. They have some
It
awesome
is
shit. But
racist.
here's the thing, but if you're gonna create like a religion, you might as well make the Book of Mormon. Like I think Muhammad just started talking shit and he was like, you know what, I can control the world and get all the women I want and start an army. And I think he just invented it. And I think the Mormons kind of did the same thing. I think Joseph Smith was like, this is a money making machine.
Oh,
And he just wrote a
absolutely.
sick book. But the Book of Mormon's very entertaining. It's like reading Lord of the Rings or bloody Narnia, right?
Yeah.
It's like he's like Tolkien or bloody C.S. Lewis. Like if we were like the Book of Mormon is not necessarily true, but you could read it and it's quite enjoyable. And maybe there's some transcendent truth in there.
There
But
is
you read that
though.
there is. It's have you read the Book of Mormon?
No, I've watched
It's a
many
freaking
documentaries.
awesome. I
I've
want to
watched
go
many
to see the Book
testimonials
of
of it.
Mormon live.
It's
I want to
funny,
go see
but
it live.
okay, listen to this though, because you're a Christian, you might want to know this. It's a funny musical. I loved it. But one song in the musical is basically a song saying "F you God." Really like cut me at the heart. I couldn't hear that one song. I liked the song. The melody was happy and everything.
But they're not talking about our God. They're talking about a different
The
God.
Mormon God,
Like,
but still,
yeah, the
like
Mormon God is
it
not the
still hurt
Christian
me.
God. Like so many
No, that's technically
people out
true.
there, they're
That's
like,
true. I've got to compartmentalize
they're
that.
like,
That's
I
true.
hate God. And I'm like, yeah, I hate that God too. I love my God. He's awesome. I'll introduce you to the real God. If
Yeah.
they knew the real Jesus, they wouldn't hate him. But they don't know the truth. They've been
Yeah.
told a lie. And do you blame them? I don't blame them either. Like, I hate all them other gods. They're losers.
Our God is the best God.
Jesus
The
was
only
pretty good.
the only supremacy I advocate is
Christian prosperity.
because Jesus is the way. The way,
It's
the
a
truth,
funny
and the life.
thing. Like my mate at work, he's like, "Yeah, you all argue about who's got the best imaginary friend." But at least Christianity is like consistent with this. Like I was saying before,
It
like
is consistent and it's corroborated.
the
It's corroborated
voluntary
by other.
interactions, like the power of all the consistency of these voluntary interactions. It's an amazing thing. Like just read the buddy. If you read like the creation story or the Garden of Eve story, like there's so much in there. It's so rich, and people are like, we're throwing that in the bin. But like they don't understand. Like, hang on a minute. The first thing you want to read, it's like the story of having freedom of will and having an ability to like choose. Like, there's a choice there. There's a choice that you can fail. And this is we're learning about the reality of life. We're learning the deep reality of life. Like, actions have consequences. You are a free agent. You have a sovereignty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that whole idea and this little story, such a tiny little story, full of powerful things that people just they can't understand it, right? But they should. They should just read it. Stop throwing it in the toilet. Pick it up and read it and understand, right? And then you go, no joke. That's why we created the modern world. That's why Western culture is
It's all
superior.
based on the Bible, a lot of it, the ideas. You're so right.
Well, there's like this, self-worth. It's like
Personal
why we got
responsibility, a
self-responsibility.
meritocracy, working hard for what you gain. That's all biblical. Also, though, I was going to say something on a factual sense. For those who don't believe in God, for those who are atheist or agnostic and they're not sure why we believe in the Bible, it's the only book that exists. The Quran, for example, what happened was someone followed Muhammad around and documented his life as he lived it for 26 years. That's how that book came around. The Joseph Smith of Mormonism, that book came around because he invented that religion and people believe his lies.
He found the gold plates, mate.
The gold
The
plates,
angel Moroni led him to find the gold plate.
yeah.
Yeah, Moroni.
But then with the Bible, it's so different. That book came together from a point in history over here, let's say the year 0, to the point of history over there, let's say 3,000 years or 2,000 years later, and somehow all those stories somehow predict the future, and then the future is fulfilled in the Bible itself. So someone in year zero, guys, also, by the way, I'm not using proper terms. I'm saying year zero just for the sake of it. In year zero, someone said that there will be a Messiah. And in the book of Isaiah, which predates when Jesus actually comes, they say there will be a Messiah. Then all of a sudden, in the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Acts, there's a Messiah. Like, the book came together and it was written by so many different people, and somehow it talks about Jews, somehow it talks about God, somehow it talks about sacrifice and Egypt. All these stories intermingle and connect. And you don't even need to believe in the whole Bible, because there are other books that are not part of the Bible that corroborate the Bible. So that's why we believe in the Bible, because it just comes together.
Yeah, well, the New Testament's pretty sweet. So you got your 4 Gospels, all your letters. And like, so if you read the 4 Gospels in the book of Acts, it's like, here's the 4 biographies of Jesus, right? Written by different people. They kind of correlate. Not everything's the same,
No,
but it's
because it's
very
different
similar. All the
perspectives.
doctrine's the same.
The
The
doctrine's
person
the
of
same. It's
Jesus
the common
never
denominator.
changes. There's some things like you could be looking from this perspective and you see it and you're like, oh, okay, that's what happened. Someone else is looking back here and he gets a little bit more perspective, and someone's got more of a narrow perspective and they're writing it. But there's differences, but it's from a different perspective. Anyway, you have the book of Acts, the Acts of the Apostles. Jesus rose again. He gave the commissioning. He's like, go make disciples of all the nations. The book of Acts shows the world. It's a historical account by the Dr. Luke, who's he's like, wow, this is what actually happened. They went and started preaching the gospel throughout the world. And then we have the letters of the church. So after the book of Acts, you have the letters. They're the letters that they went out and outworked the Great Commission. They started making churches and disciples. And then they're writing letters, they're posting it in the mail. And we have these letters, these historic documents. And we're like, holy crap. We know the culture. We know what they did, what they believed. We have firsthand, like, these guys are disciples of Jesus. They're outworking the commissioning. They're reteaching what they were taught. This is what they sincerely believed and eyewitness accounted. They're like, yeah, this is who Jesus is. He died and rose again. He's this. And just like, holy crap, it's based on there's like historic evidence and credibility there. You're like, holy
300,
damn.
500, 300 or 500 people saw him rise up. Was it a mass delusion that they all happened to share? Are they all liars, or did they really see him ascend?
Yeah. Have you seen this? There's like, yeah, I want to go up. Have you read the Apostolic Fathers, the writings? It's like, so you even have the writings of the letters in the New Testament that the apostles like. It's pretty much like a Facebook post. If you put it in modern day perspective, you know what I mean? It's like a YouTube video.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The disciples, they were starting these Christian communities and discipling people and setting up like bishops and stuff. But as the disciples died, the next generation of bishops, they still penned letters. The Christian culture of writing down what's going on and posting letters to other churches and encouraging one another continued. We have these letters. We have them. We know what the disciples wrote and believe and taught. And there's other things in there like, oh yeah, this is how you do this and that. This is how we do that. And it's like they were taught apostolic procession. It's like Jesus taught his disciples, Jesus' disciples, the apostles taught their bishops. You can see it. There's so much historical evidence. You're like, we can't deny that. This is the thing. The Quran, the Muslims are like, the Bible has been changed and the doctrine's wrong. And it's like, sorry, buddy. Like, we have the writings of the Apostolic Fathers. We have the letters. We have the 4 Gospels. We have 30,000 manuscripts across fucking different continents that all correlate. Once you translate them, and you lose fucking like 1%.
Yeah,
1% we've lost.
True. And actually, the Quran, there's like 24 to 25 different Qurans. And then there's even like a part of the Quran where that's being completely omitted, and it's Muhammad, because he used to speak to demons, and they've gotten rid of that. They've gotten rid of that because it shows that he was confused, and when he thought he was talking to God or to angels, it was actually demons. And they've omitted that out of the Quran. So like, that inconsistency is not even, it does not even exist in the Bible.
Well, like I'm pretty sure Jesus said, like, I can't quite. I'm not going to quote it exactly. It's just from roughly. He's like, oh, like I think it was Jesus or the Apostle Paul. He's like, don't receive any other gospel other than the one I preach. That's the good news. That's how to be saved.
And also, Jesus
and people will come. I think he says people will come to you as messages of light, and they'll be preaching a false gospel, right?
Exactly.
What the fuck happened to Muhammad? That's exactly what happened to Muhammad. What happened to Joseph Smith? It's the same thing. We got a pretty good, clear warning to be like, watch out for this false gospel. Someone's going to come and preach a false gospel, be a false prophet of revelation. Like, we got to be, holy moly, man. We got to be like, wake up and be like, hey, Muhammad, I think you're, think you might be the dude they're talking about there, mate.
Someone in the chat wrote that they can't take you seriously.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's probably easier to hear me say this crap than someone who's like giving you a bloody, you know, a boring ass lecture and giving you a good old ear bashing.
It's funny though.
And we've descended into full deep theology in it. When I first started my YouTube channel, right, dead set, I was pissed as I was drinking. I was pissed. I walked up my stairs and then I walked back down and I was wet from being in my pool. I slipped down my stairs and fucked my back. And luckily I had 6 weeks holiday, right? And I was like, fuck, it was like the first few days of my holiday. So I'm like, couldn't do jack all for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So I read like, I don't know, 6 books.
Well done.
And they're all religious books, right? Like it was like the Book of Enoch, fucking the Book of Giants, the writings of the Apostolic Fathers, the Quran, the Book of Mormon, like all these different books, right? And I was like, shit, I'm the kind of guy, I read a book and I'm like, I read a few chapters and then I'm like, all right, I need to read a different book to like stay focused. So I'd read a book and then I'd make a video log about what I learned. Gotcha. And then I'd read the other book and I'd do a video log about what I learned. And I had all these videos of like these different books and it was just me ranting to myself. And I was like running out of room on my phone. And I was like, all right, I'll make a YouTube channel. I'll save these videos and then I can delete it off my phone because I'm running out of space. And that's why I built my YouTube channel. And then next minute I was like, became a proud boy and I'm like, oh, I could make videos and be an idiot and talk to people. I love that.
Yeah, it's fun to talk to people.
So I've read a heap of crap about all this religious stuff.
Yeah, you actually,
I really enjoy it.
Genuinely read the books, whereas I get all my information from research, and I haven't actually read a lot of the stuff that I talk about. But I do research it with veracity. But I do want to buy myself a Book of Mormon, and I do want to buy myself a Quran.
I read that, like I had my Book of Mormon and my Quran. I was like, studied them, read them through a few times, and I'm like, that was awesome. Thanks heaps. And I started a fire in my backyard, and I was like, get out of my fucking house, Satan, and burnt them books. I was like, fuck that shit. I got the knowledge I needed to know to win these people to the Lord, but yeah, I do believe you got to be careful when you read this stuff. Like,
yeah, because then if you get taken in by it, it can change your heart, your spirit, and then you'll become angry, and that's just, you know.
Yeah, that was the worst thing. When I was reading the Quran, I was like, I actually am frustrated with these people that believe this, and I was like, I need to put that book down because I don't want to have a heart of like hatred to Muslims. Like, I want to win them. You know what I mean?
We can't. No,
I'll tell you a story how I got the Book of Mormon.
It's not good. Go. Tell me a story.
Yeah, no. I was in Miami in like South Beach somewhere. We were in a hotel. I don't remember. Maybe it's the Mantra or something. Some American hotel company is owned by Mormons. So I like looked in the drawer and I'm like, oh, the Book of Mormon. I'm like sick. So we went to South Beach all day just sitting around. And I'm like sick just reading this Book of Mormon. I'm like, this is mad. I'm just smashing the Book of Mormon. I'm like, I really enjoy this book. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm like, this is a rad as book. Like, you know what I mean? I loved it. And then when we got back from a holiday, I think I'm like 3 days back, right? And guess who knocks on my door? A bunch of Mormon missionaries. I'm like, how you going, boys?
Hi, I'm Elder Price.
Bunch of fucking 17-year-old elders knock on my door, and I'm like, how you going? I'm like, hook me up with the Book of Mormon, bro. And I told them the story how I was reading it, and then they gave me like the full Book of Mormon with like the Pearl of Great Prize, and there's like a few, I forget the other names of the books, but there's more than just the Book of Mormon. Like
they have the thing about how he puts his head in a hat, and I don't know. But
yeah. It's wild. It's a wild adventure. It's really entertaining, and I love that book. Like, as much as I know it's not the truth, but damn, it is fucking good. I love it. And then I was like, I'm totally reading the Quran next, and I was so excited. And I read that book, and I'm like, this is the rant of a madman. It was shit. It was just a shit read. Like, tip of the hat to the Mormons, but fuck, the Quran is hard to labor through that book.
Well, I'll tell you something interesting.
It's not good. It's not entertaining.
No, well, there's something that relates to what you're saying. It slightly deviates from the subject, but there's a guy that I really want to interview. I don't know whether you guys are aware of him, but his name is John Ramirez. He's an Puerto Rican American, and he used to be literally. I know this sounds stupid to people who don't believe in God, but he literally used to have a relationship with Satan. He used to have like Satan sitting next to him, and he used to talk to him. And Satan gave this guy power. This guy was given power over demons, and he would delegate to the demons where to go. And I was shocked to find that there is a demon for every department. Like, say this guy Juan. They're telling me to turn up my mic, but I can't turn it up. Okay, so this guy would tell one demon, and this demon was the demon of Islam, and he would say, okay, you demon of Islam, you have to go to work in Brooklyn, and you demon of Mormonism, you have to go to work in Utah, and you demon of I don't know, prostitution, you have to go to Australia, and you demon of this. Each demon has a category. And I was like, whoa, that's like, I did not know that. Like, I did not know that it was that.
Yeah, I think it's biblical. It's in the
I didn't know it was that detailed. And this guy is now a Christian, and the devil tried to hold him in. Like, anyway, it's really interesting. I really want to interview him because it'd be so interesting to yeah? What was that?
Yeah. You have to be you have to be careful, because he could just be really smart and wanting to make money off a sweet book.
Maybe, but he is a Christian.
It could be true.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. I do have to be careful.
Because there is I think it's in the New Testament. In the New Testament, I don't remember where exactly. Pretty sure there's like a story, and it's like, someone prayed, and then an angel came to take the prayer. So this is all. You got to imagine this as like a trans-dimensional realm of heaven, the heavenly realm. This is not the natural. This is in the spiritual realm. And there's some angel comes, and he's like, I think it might have been an Old Testament story. He's like, I was praying, and the angel went and took the prayer, but then he was held up by the demon, the Prince of Persia, and he was like, wouldn't let the prayer prevail. Like, he wouldn't take the prayer to the realm of heaven or whatever. I'm paraphrasing again. So this story is in there. So there's like a allocated demon over the province of Persia, and there's also, I think Jesus said, I think he said something to a demon. Someone was demon possessed, and he said it's the only demons actually named, I think, in the New Testament. And he says, like, he rebukes the spirit of Python over someone's life. So that's like a weird idea. And I think Jesus also said these demons can only come out through prayer and fasting. That's what he says. Jesus actually said that. But that's pre-Christian. This is pre crucifixion, death and resurrection, and the Holy Spirit. So a lot's changed. Even though Jesus said some things change. Some things have changed since he died, rose again, and we received the Holy Spirit. Like, some of this stuff the power has been broken over mankind. Some of these things are just mental illness. They're just
Oh
fucking
yeah, of course.
absolutely.
No, I know, that's true. But I was just saying I thought it was interesting how this guy, I didn't realize that there was a demon allocated for a department and for a particular human condition. There is even a demon of Islam. Like, that's insane. Like that, the devil.
Here's the thing about like the python, right? I think the python, how he kills you is like he wraps around you slowly,
Mm,
and then as you exhale, it
mm,
gets a bit tighter, and then you breathe in, you exhale, and it gets a bit tighter,
mm.
and you slowly get out of breath. Like you could do it while you're sleeping until eventually you're faintly breathing and you slowly fade out and die. So like the spirit of python, we can have like a so we can read between the lines, be like, that's how pythons kill things. Maybe that's like how that's how like the demonic force around people's lives of addiction and depression and even hatred, like racism or hatred, it slowly takes away your breath, takes away your life, and you
Yeah,
descend into death. Just like the python fucking slowly takes away your breath. You know what I mean?
I do know what you
So
mean.
anyway, that's just the fucking another wild tangent there.
No, that's true. Well,
Story
I
time.
brought up the tangent. I just thought it was interesting. Someone in the chat wrote David Wood. Actually, I've been trying to get David Wood on my channel for the longest time. Do you know who David Wood is? So
No idea.
David Wood is an atheist. He was a very, very strong, passionate atheist, and he believed that he was superior to all other people because he felt no emotion. And he one day decided it would be a good idea to attack his father. So he grabbed like a crowbar or something and attacked his father just because. I don't remember
So it's
his
just like
reason.
a full nihilist.
Yeah, and he was a sadist. And he did that to his father, and he was taken to prison for aggravated something. He hurting his dad. Anyway, and then while in prison, he started to become a Christian. And then when he finally got out, he said to his dad, "I did this to you," and the dad didn't believe he had, and the dad obviously forgave him. And now this guy is like an authority on the Quran, on Islam. He has 4 children, 2 disabled children, and he recently had Imam Tawhidi on his channel, and he's like a really, really proud, strong, passionate Christian now. I'm sure
Wow.
you've heard of him. His channel is Acts Apologetics 17.
Oh yeah. I think I
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Sweet.
So that guy, I've emailed him. I have his private email. I'm very well connected, but I struggle. Like he's not answering my emails. But anyway, it's okay. But yeah,
I'm
so
so
David.
crap at like. I swear. I hope all my fans will be like so disappointed how I don't interact in the comment section or like even on my Telegram. It's like I need to make a bit of an effort, but I'm more just like post it. And I reckon I'd struggle at yeah. If I had to have 6 weeks of back and forth with Jesse Peterson's fucking producer, it would probably like die. So I'd be like,
Yeah,
fuck
I'm
it.
persistent. That's why, like, people say, "Dear, you're a shill. Are you paid by?" People think that like I'm being funded by Israel or something because I managed to get really big guests on my channel. It's legitimately a brotherhood in Christ. So they say yes because they know that I'm genuine and that I'm a nice person. And two, because I'm persistent and I just don't stop. When I got the Pussycat doll Kaya Jones on my channel, that took 6 months. Took me six
Damn.
months to get a Pussycat doll on my channel. Like that took ages. So I'm just really persistent and really patient. But
Never give up.
I'll give you these people's emails if I don't know if I'm supposed to
Jeez.
say that out loud, but
Nah.
I'll hook you up the best I can, and you hook
What
me
a
up the best
miracle.
you can.
Dusty needs all the help he can get. I need a fucking team of people who'll be like,
Well,
yeah, I'll
it's
help that.
because
I'll
of
help
me,
that bloke.
guys,
He's all
that
right.
Dusty knows how to use Hangouts. So you can
Yeah,
all thank me for that.
you helped me.
I did help
Here's
you.
I
And
better read some comments.
yeah, read
Hey,
some comments. Go ahead.
everybody needs to read the Quran and tell everyone what a horrible written mess it really is. It's a joke, really, when compared to the Bible. Yeah, it's true. Who else said this? Techno Nip. I don't know. Is that how you say it? I'm semi fucking retarded here, so help me out. Anyway, he said, did you hear about Teddy Spaghetti calling the Proud Boys a bunch of gamma losers today? Infuriating, mate. No, I don't know
Who?
who
Who
Teddy
said?
fucking Spaghetti is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is either.
Anyway, peeps, you need to get comfortable with people calling your names in this world. Do you know what I mean? Like, who
Oh
gives a
yeah, I
shit?
don't care what people call me. What I do care is when I'm mischaracterized by people on my own side. That bothers me because it's like, well, you guys should know me that I'm a nice person, or that I'm a bit stupid sometimes, or that I'm a little bit naive, but that I have a good heart. Like I don't like people on our own side, on the right, the conservatives or the Christians, mischaracterizing us. But I don't care being named anything. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, you don't want to be. Why get pulled into unnecessary confrontation? Like, it's of no benefit to me. Like, I don't care what fucking Teddy Spaghetti said about the Proud Boys. Like, whatever, mate. You're entitled to believe in freedom of speech. Say what the hell you want about me, mate. But I reckon at the end of the day, I think I could like get on with people and just have a chat and a beer and be like, "Hey, you're not too bad, mate. You're
Yeah.
all right." We get on, and I think like this is the thing. We need to be on. Oh yeah.
Sorry, someone said that they have the same
What
book as.
book was that?
This is called Islam Revealed by Dr. Shorosh. I've read it. That's why I know that Islam is wrong.
Nice.
I haven't needed to read the Quran because this book is by a former Muslim. So I know everything that's in the Quran because of this book.
Yeah, nice.
So what were you saying? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, what I was saying is what we need to do. We've got like 3 years, right? Where we have a conservative politician. I have like a big heart for these left wing people. Like, I want to start.
We need to love them. We need to
Let's
praise
start a
them,
conversation.
and
I want to go to the. I think what we need to do is there's feminist issues, there's gay issues, there's Aboriginals, there's refugees, there's climate change. These are probably like the big whatever 5 issues, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be like, hang on a minute. So here we are. I'm a bit more conservative, and I'll be like, well, here's that issue. How can I help this demographic or around that issue? What is a solution that I can find and be like, okay, that's a demographic you want to target. This is your identity group. And I'll be like, well, I've got ideas to help these groups, like how we're going to actually deal with some of these issues like climate change or whatever. Because I don't think but like I'm gonna go and invest in the next 3 years over these issues, and I'm gonna be like, do you know who's gonna deal with these issues better than the left? Conservatives will, libertarians will, people who believe in classical liberalism, people who believe in civic nationalism, or people. I think civic nationalism. One of the dudes in my comment section, he said, I don't like civic nationalism. It sounds like civic duty, like you're up for jury duty and you're forced to do it. I was like, I actually agree. We should call it cultural nationalism, because I like voluntary interactions. Like, I want people to be like, I fucking love Australia, and like be like, yeah, with our flags. Like, I want some new dude from Vietnam or Afghanistan to be like, thank fuck I'm here, and be like, I'm so grateful to be in Australia. Be like, I want to be a full bogan. I want to grow a mullet. Like, I want to eat meat pies and fucking hot chicks and get around like
in public to grow a mullet.
Bring more mullets back. I totally want a mullet so badly. It's like when I grow a beard.
I will not be seen with you in public if you are going to get a mullet.
Oh man. One day it's gonna happen. My wife's like, no mullet. You're not having
I
a
will
mullet.
agree with your wife.
Like,
your wife and I will gang up on you.
This is the mullet hat. This is the compensation.
That is a mullet hat. You're not wrong.
And I'm getting all these greys in my beard, so I'm like, I've grown my beard a few times, which was real rad, and I loved it. But now I've got like that many greys. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to kind of keep it shorter.
Yeah, stubble.
Maybe it was from working,
but not like too long.
Maybe it was from I think it was from working too many jobs, like working too much. I was like, I wasn't looking after myself. If you read 12 Rules of Life, you got to look after yourself. Well, I haven't done that. I've been like fucking preoccupied doing other shit and working, that I wasn't like, geez, Dusty, bloody eat a salad every now and then, mate. You know what I mean? Stop being a pig. Nah.
So wait, you were recently on The Unshackled. How'd that go? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. Tim Wills from The Unshackled. He's bloody good, Tim, eh? Tim Wills.
Yeah.
No, I like Tim, eh? I reckon he's having a fair crack.
He's doing
I don't think he's like amazing. I don't think I'm amazing. I think what I love is people who have a crack. They're just having a go. And it's like, in a climate of like PC culture where it's like you can lose your job for saying the wrong thing, or these people are going to dox you, or Antifa is going to be like, I'm going to fucking bash you. Like the unshackled journalist dude Martin who got bashed in Brisbane. Like, these people actually want to fucking bash us. They would like want to permanently injure you so you couldn't earn an income, or they want to dox you and get you booted from your profession. So like, why the hell would this is like real fascists we're dealing with? Like, they say they're anti-fascists, but they're the real fascists.
They know that too, but they don't care. They want to stay doing what they're doing because they hate us so much. But our job is to love them, pray for them, and just hope that.
Well, wait until we start. I'm going to get all the little identity groups, and I'll be like, I've got solutions to these problems. As a conservative, that's going to be better for them. It's going to be better for our culture. It's going to be better for the world. And these ideas are going to come from the right. They're going to come from conservatives and libertarians. And, classical liberalism is now a virtue of the right. So it's like, Dusty's going to sit there and be like, I'm going to write some shit down. I used to write every morning. I'd be like, ADD brain was like, and I was like, I need to focus. I need to just write shit down for an hour every morning. I'm going to do that. I'll be like, I'm going to find a solution to these fucking problems that these lefties keep trying to force us with. They're the true fascists. They're like, but you wait. I'm going to go to these fucking left-wing rallies and I'll be like, hey, mate.
Do you have
Dusty
a lot of
Bogan
them up there in Brizzy?
Oh, there's probably like 30 bloody Antifa people. And I think I think at the weed rally, I'm like, you look like these guys. I'm like, these guys are them Antifa dudes. And I can tell it's you, even though you're wearing your stupid bandana. You were wearing your stupid bandana. I'm like, I know it's them. But I was like, hey, you going, mate? Because they were just normal. They went there normal. Like, hey, doing, talking to them, chatting to them. And like, he's like, and I was just like, you know what, man, don't believe the lies. You know what I mean? They get in a cycle of circular reasoning where they make up lies. It's like the hit pieces they read about the Proud Boys. Like, they wrote so many hit pieces and then they used them hit pieces to justify getting us kicked off Facebook, which was circular reasoning. It was all false. It was just all a big made up lie.
Well,
I think Hitler said
truth. Like,
I think like Hitler said, if you tell a lie long enough, people will think it's the truth. Right.
But are you? Well, because in my from what I've been to Sydney a lot lately, and I've been obviously Melbourne. Antifa has a very strong presence here, but I feel like the online presence of Antifa, I feel like the Brisbane Antifa online kind of delegates or runs all the other Antifas. I think the strongest presence is in Brisbane, as in not physically, not people, but I feel like I could be wrong. I'm just theorizing. But anyway, we need to love them and pray for them.
Yeah, well, eventually there's going to be, when they're like, what they call, like, they yell dog, like racist dog, or they yell like,
they yell
go home Nazi or whatever
they say. Go home Nazi or racist, sexist is not the way. Go home Nazi. We don't want you to stay, or something like that. Like weird little rhymes. I don't even know how they come up with them.
So like eventually we're gonna break through the yelling and the crying and the tears and the lies, and they're gonna be like, holy fuck, these people aren't what we're saying they are. They have like genuine concerns as well, and like, holy shit, our ideas are better. Our ideas are going to actually function in the real world. Like, these guys are just kids. They're just young people who finish school. They go to university. They get taught by like a lecturer who's so filled with it. They are like philosophically driven. They understand what they're doing. These young people haven't lived life at all. Like, I'm only 30. So I got a lot to learn too. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying, I don't think all these people are fucking evil or bad. I think they're just like,
they're misguided,
trapped in an echo chamber,
angry, and they are united in their hatred. But no one is without redemption.
But they sincerely think they're doing what's right. This is the thing about left-wing politics. They sincerely think it's the right thing to do.
Well, they're being activists. They're getting out there fighting for their cause. We're doing
they're the keyboard warriors. We're all jumped on the same bandwagon.
Rallies. They're actually activists. Like, they actually, you're right. They believe in what they're doing and they think they're changing the world for the better. But
I wonder if it's a virtue signal. Like, I
might
wonder
be,
if,
but it's not based on faith or Christ. It's based on their own false sense of
well,
right and
maybe a
wrong.
lot of the like left wing people, it's like proven that atheism, like 80% of atheists will be left leaning, right? Like pretty much left
That's
wing
true.
radicals. So the
That's
thing
true.
is, it's like are they nihilistic atheists? Like, what is the fuel that that it's obviously the philosophical belief system of atheism is affecting them and getting them to the point where it's like, see, the thing is, they don't believe in a transcendent afterlife.
No.
This is it for them. So they're very concerned about what's going on here. Do you know what I mean? This
Mm.
is the obsession with communism, and it's like, holy crap. Like, because this is it for them. If you're disabled or gay or like whatever you are, like, it's like, damn, we better be PC and nice and lovely because,
They want to
you
help.
know, this
Yeah,
is
they want
it.
to help
Like,
the disabled.
there's sincere, genuine niceness about it, but they've descended into fascism and communism and they're control freaks. There's like, I'm all for voluntary interactions. Like, I want to win an argument. I would like to convince you that,
But they won't let you debate them, so you can't win that argument, which you would win in 3 minutes.
yeah, maybe.
Mm.
I think it happens over time through relationships. You know what I mean, and connections and conversations. And I think that this is why they don't want the conversation to begin. They don't want to give. Mate, I don't know if we can win the argument in 30 seconds, but I think what can happen is through spending time together and having conversations, people do wake up and soften up and be like, oh yeah, I put myself in other people's shoes. They get
Mm.
perspective, but they're
Mm.
like, you know, the professors are super smart and they understand like, this is what we have to do. We can't give them a platform. They're brainwashed into the like rhetoric and they don't even understand like, what are they actually saying? Like,
Exactly.
uh, should we wrap this up
I was
because we're
about to
fucking
say that
going a
it's
bit
an
long?
hour. It's
How
been
many people are bloody
75
viewing
minutes.
us?
We have
30 people. That's all
31.
good.
That's it. We've done
Jeez
really well.
Louise. That's all good.
Okay, so let's leave people with a positive thought for the rest of the week. The wages of sin is death. No,
No, that's so negative.
I'm just kidding. What about
Israel Flower.
Israel? No, what about the joy of the Lord is my strength? It's right behind you.
Yeah, the joy of the Lord is my strength. Damn
Nehemiah.
straight.
Okay, let's leave it on
Let
that.
a have a bit of transcendent bloody spirituality come into your life through
Yeah.
Jesus, I reckon. Have a bit of that. We don't have
Everyone,
to be like,
if you're going through a hard time, pray to Christ and see if you get a response because you most likely will. It'll freak you out, but it'll be the best thing that you've ever done.
yeah, I think voluntary interactions are good, and I think like we have to give permission to God. We have to give permission for Christianity. Christianity work like your part in Christianity is not works based salvation. It's not climbing the religious ladder
No,
through works like all the other
that's a
religions.
byproduct. Yeah.
The transaction and part we play, it's permission. We're giving
Mm.
permission. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
come in, help me. Like,
Mm.
if you give permission, you're like voluntarily like, yeah, I want to voluntarily let God into my life
Mm.
to start helping me. That's awesome.
That's
Have a
fantastic.
crack
And
at
that's what
that.
we should, yeah, that's what we should end on. Everyone, if you want to catch up with the next episode of Dia and Dusty Decipher, or we're still working on the name, I think, it'll be in 2 weeks. We're doing a fortnightly show. So that is, let me just go to my little calendar. I think that's the 9th. The 9th,
I
no,
was thinking the
yeah,
broken what was it? The Broken Rise Church or some shit and just
mhm,
do like Sunday church. It's kind of like
the
a
Broken Rose
broken.
Church. Oh, we'll figure it out.
But anyway, who gives a crap? I was thinking it today. I was listening to heavy metal mowing my lawn, and I'm just like, yeah, I need to. We need to do what Kanye West do and start a Sunday church, revolutionize this
Let's
church from these.
revolutionize this country through Christ and our broken understanding of the Bible.
Yeah, because we're not perfect either, but I think
No, definitely not.
we've left politics and the church in the hands of some people who are really just in love with money.
Mm,
They've traded in the truth for a lie, and they've traded in, you know, the root of all evil is the love of money. And you go to
yeah.
these churches and you listen to these politicians who have been lining their pockets with dough, and they've done a terrible fucking job. And it's about time the people took it up and we just fucking go a bit of Jesus style. We gotta tip the tables over in the temple, man. We gotta like get a sweet whip and be like, bang, we're going Jesus style, man. We're time to
Okay.
take it back. The
Well,
people,
we'll do our very best, and that is in 2 weeks' time on the 9th of June on my channel for episode 2, and then episode 3 will be on his channel. And stay
Yeah.
tuned on my channel for my interview with Lee Peterson, and stay tuned on the Dusty's channel for what's coming up for you.
mate, I think I'm going to interview Tim Will sometime this week, and
That'll be good.
because he dropped. It was supposed to do Friday night.
I've interviewed him. He's lovely.
Yeah, it was supposed to do Friday night, and he's like, "I'm a bit crook, Dusty. I'm not feeling up to it." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, bro."
You sounded just like him.
And I did a live, and I just went live and read the news because I'm like, I keep reading the news every day, and I'm like, God, I just want to do another video. Like, I just could do an hour. I'm going to probably do an hour every day. I need to get another 800 hours viewed before I can. Is it monetize my channel? They put my channel up for review.
Oh yeah, it doesn't take long. It takes 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
Well, you know,
Well, that's
not that I'm like want money, but damn, if I could be a full-time political activist or journalist or bloody banter, I fucking would.
Maybe you and I should start our own company, and then we should go around Australia talking the gospel of Dia and Dusty.
I think I'm a workaholic too, so like I can't help myself. I'll be like, I'm led by vision. If I got a vision, I'm like, get out of my way. That's the cool thing about Lee Peterson, right? He's like 70, right? 70-year-old man.
70,
and I'm like,
so cool.
Dusty when he's 70. I'm 31. I got a freaking long way before I'm 70, but I'm never gonna stop. It's just gonna be like having a bloody crack at this.
Yeah.
I'm on mission, man. I got a vision, and I'm gonna fucking. I always say to people, I'm like, yeah, well, you better go get a cross and some nails, buddy, because it's the only way you're gonna stop me. You know what I mean?
And we're
I'm gonna keep out working the heart. I'm gonna keep out working what God's put on my heart.
Yeah,
like I said to my last pastor at my last church, I'm like, he started preaching the prosperity gospel, and I'm like, buddy, I'm out of here. I'm leaving the church because my heart is not to serve a false gospel.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
Like, I'll serve Jesus with my life and soul, but I'm not gonna fucking trade the truth in for a lie.
Well, that's true. But I think also what makes us unique is that we're a unique duo. No one would expect us to, like, I don't know, like, you're so Aussie, but you're actually not Australian at all. You weren't even born here. I'm like ethnic. I come from Colombian and Spanish parents, but you know, I espouse Australian values, and
I'm pretty sure you have quite a lot of European blood, wouldn't you? Spanish is European. Cubans
are European, but South American, as in Colombian, is more Native American.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Yeah, but anyway,
I just call Latinos wogs. I'm reclaiming. I'm claiming is all. I'm like, nah, they're just like European 2.0s. That's going for Middle Easterners and Latinos. I'm like, nah, you're the other white people, and we're claiming you as our own. Well, and it's only going to take a little bit of tweaking to be like, we're fucking awesome, and we're together and a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud to be Australian, and yeah. Let us wrap up the live portion, because I just want to ask you a question offline, and then I want to go have a shower.
No worries, mate. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I reckon I'll probably do a fucking live every afternoon at 5 o'clock. And
okay, cool. Well,
an hour of news with the Dusty, because I need a fucking another 800 viewing hours, and I'm just like a fiend. I can't stop. Once I have a bit of vision and a bit of taste for it, I'm just like too much ADD. Like, have you seen my little emoji cartoon? And it's like, be patient, I have autism.
No, but that's awesome.
Some dude made it trying to take the piss out of me, and I was like, that is the sickest picture. I'm using it as my my fucking little emoji dude, or whatever you call it.
Sorry, yes.
And I was like, oh, it says be patient, I have autism. I'm like, hey babe, do I have autism? And my wife's like, I said that to my wife, and she's like, you don't have fucking autism.
You could.
But she said to me,
I have ADD.
Yeah, my wife said to me today, she's like, I do think you have ADD. I do think you have some things that are wrong with you.
Yeah, that's funny.
But you need to have a bit of ADD to make it in this world. You know what I mean? You got to have a bit of fucking something wild about you.
Caballo is horse. And caballero means gentleman, people in the chat. And yes, there are Afro Latinos. All right, let's
see you
turn it off.
fucking later.
Bye, guys.
Number 3 swear word for the day.
Episode 2 in 2 weeks.
Catch you later. Sting.